afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, Vice President Sara Duterte claims her impeachment case stems from President Bongbong Marcos' desire to perpetuate his power. That's what she says. She's the frontrunner in the 2028 presidential race. The Comelec lifts the suspension of the proclamation of Marikina Representative-elect Marcy Teodoro. Fil-Am Dylan Harper now a San Antonio Spur as he becomes the second overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. And a look at the final trailer for the Fantastic Four: First Steps. President Bongbong Marcos wants to perpetuate his power. That's according to Vice President Sara Duterte, who insists her impeachment is politically motivated. In an interview with Russian state-run network Russia Today, VP Sara claims the case is aimed at weakening her position as the supposed frontrunner in the 2028 presidential race.
It is the intent of President Marcos not to step down. He wants to perpetuate himself or his family in power. It is clear from the moves of his administration against political opponents. And in fact, one of his relatives, and this is a personal knowledge of mine, has expressed that he wants to run for president. This all started with the People's Initiative, wherein they wanted to amend the Constitution to shift into a parliamentary form of government where the Prime Minister is not voted by popular choice. When they failed in this, they started the impeachment. And clearly, evidence shows that the members of the House of Representatives, many of them who signed, did not read the articles of impeachment. And one particular member of the House of Representatives already said publicly that there was money in exchange for the signatures in the articles of impeachment. Because I am the frontrunner in the presidential race in 2028, the survey shows that. And I think they want to eliminate the frontrunner.
Despite the speculation, she says she hasn't decided whether to run in the polls.
They think that if they take out former President Duterte, they will weaken me because it's one brand, it's one family. I have not planned anything for the presidential race of 2028. Some supporters have given me a deadline of the fourth quarter of the year 2026. So that is when I will decide if I will run for president on 2028.
43 counts of murder don't amount to crimes against humanity. That's how the VP also defended her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, who is detained at the International Criminal Court in The Hague. The VP insists the ICC has no reason to fear for witnesses' safety should his request for interim release be granted. The younger Duterte claims her father has done nothing to witnesses despite knowing their identities.
And he doesn't intend to intimidate witnesses. He hasn't done that. He's been mayor. He hasn't done that. He was president when the ICC case was filed. He hasn't done anything at all with the witnesses. We all know the list of witnesses because we have information coming in from the investigations conducted by ICC investigators here in the Philippines, and he hasn't done anything. For the past 2 years, we've been telling him to prepare for the ICC case, but he said that it's all crap, it's nothing. And clearly, when we heard the charges, we found out that it's really nothing. It's 43 counts of murder. That's not even close to crimes against humanity.
A victory for Marikina Representative-elect Marcy Teodoro as the poll body lifts the suspension of his proclamation. Let's get the details from Joash Malimban on the line now from Marikina. Joash, go ahead.
The Commission on Elections reinstated the certificate of candidacy of Marikina 1st District Representative-elect Marcy Teodoro. In an en banc decision, the Comelec granted Teodoro's motion for reconsideration, lifting the suspension of his proclamation. Teodoro's COC was originally cancelled in December 2024 by the Comelec First Division due to alleged material misrepresentation. 2 petitions were filed against him last year, one by outgoing Senator Coco Pimentel, his rival in the midterm elections. The petitioners claimed Teodoro falsified information about his transfer of residence to Marikina's 1st District. But the Comelec ruled that Teodoro is not a stranger to the district, having served 3 consecutive terms there in the past. The en banc decision stressed that Teodoro understands the community he seeks to serve and that the petitioners failed to prove he committed material misrepresentation. Teodoro won the Marikina City 1st District congressional race against Senator Coco Pimentel, garnering 75,062 votes to Pimentel's 29,091 last May.
George, to be clear, this means that Congressman-elect Teodoro will now be proclaimed?
Yes, Mai, Teodoro is now poised for proclamation subject to the decision of the City Board of Canvassers. But the petitioners still has an option to elevate the case to the Supreme Court. And earlier today, Senator Pimentel confirmed that he will file a petition before the SC regarding the matter. Mai.
Thank you for that report, Joash Malimban. Supposed silang Kavita Mayor-elect Kevin Anarna not backing down after the Comelec disqualified his candidacy. The poll body cited a 2024 ombudsman ruling that found Anarna guilty of grave misconduct and serious dishonesty. The decision perpetually banned him from holding public office. On Billionaire News channels at the forefront, Anarna said the ombudsman decision is under appeal.
Naisip ko na rin yung mga anak ko. Tulad po ng sinabi ko kanina, ayoko nung balang araw, bigla na lang mabalitaan nila bakit ka nung
Transport agencies and stakeholders hold a road safety summit to come up with an action plan to reduce road crashes in the NCR. Paulo Barcelona is on the scene for us in Parañaque for more on this story. Paulo, is there information on the main causes of accidents and how big of a problem this is for the last decade?
You just mentioned it right, Mai. Based on data from the MMDA, over 4,000 people have died from road accidents in the NCR from 2013 to 2023. That is an alarming average of 405 per year, with road crashes increasing in the post-pandemic era from 2021 to 2023. EDSA, C5, and Commonwealth Avenue are the top 3 roads in Metro Manila where road crash cases happened in 2024, with these 3 roads alone accounting for over 21,000 road crashes last year. Car-to-motorcycle crashes are the leading types of accidents at over 18,000 cases, of which 55 died and over 7,000 injured. However, authorities, Mai, are also concerned about the high fatality rate of truck-to-pedestrian crashes, of which 15% out of 103 reported cases were fatal. Authorities are now aiming to implement a 5-stage safety action plan from 2024 to 2028 with the goal of reducing accidents by up to 35% in the next 5 years. This includes plans for safer roads, vehicles, driver education, and post-crash response. This combines best practices from all Metro Manila local governments, the academe, and civil society organizations. In fact, a press conference is still ongoing here in Parañaque, wherein some suggestions were floated by the authorities, including, for example, having a suit that can take drunk drivers and their vehicles back home, akin to a Transport Network Vehicle Service or TNVS. There's also talks of potentially lowering speed limits from 60 to 30 kilometers per hour. And of course, there's also talks of improving enforcement, especially when it comes to drunk driving. Like Secretary Ted Herbosa of the Department of Health earlier mentioned, for example, that in other countries, the limit for drunk driving is at around 0 milligrams of alcohol, which analyzed through the breathalyzer. So there are also many suggestions being floated here. But some of the measures that the MMDA also flaunted are the implementation of the no-contact apprehension policy, higher fines for EDSA busway violators, lightning for major roads, among others, especially also motorcycle riders along EDSA now reach a peak of almost 200,000 per day. Mai?
Paulo, what are the usual causes of the crashes and what age brackets are affected?
Well, it affects various age brackets. Hit pedestrian collisions actually are the highest number of fatal cases, with over 111 recorded just last year. The next is self-accidents, wherein it's caused by human errors such as speeding or distracted driving. It ranks second in Metro Manila with 77 cases. And the third is 60 fatal cases of rear-end collisions. As for the age bracket, it affects all age brackets so far, but highest average are 18 to 34-year-olds, of which from 2013 to 2023, almost 50% of all road crashes involved in Metro Manila come from the 18 to 34 bracket, Mai.
Thank you for that report, Paulo Barcelon. U.S. President Donald Trump declares the 12-day war between Iran and Israel is over. Speaking at the NATO summit in The Hague in the Netherlands, Trump says the ceasefire appears to hold after berating both Iran and Israel over their violations. The president also believes both sides were keen to end the war, but he adds there's always the possibility fighting could again flare up.
They're both tired, exhausted. They fought very, very hard and very viciously, very violently. And they were both satisfied to go home and get out. And can it start again? I guess someday it can. It could maybe start soon.
Trump, meanwhile, plans to meet with Iran's leaders next week after failed negotiations prompted a U.S. attack on Tehran's nuclear facilities. Trump compares that attack to the U.S. dropping 2 atomic bombs on Japan in 1945 at the end of World War II. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte praising U.S. President Trump's handling of the war between Iran and Israel. He also sees no problem with Trump using profanity when the American leader expressed dismay over ceasefire violations from both sides.
They've had a big fight, like 2 kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easier to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes do strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word.
Trump would later say he thinks Rutte likes him. And too bad, as Rutte clarifies, he never called Trump daddy.
In Europe, I hear sometimes countries saying, hey, Mark, will the US stay with us? And I said, that sounds a little bit like a small child asking his daddy, hey, are you still staying with the family? So in that sense, I use daddy, not that I was calling President Trump daddy.
A day after chiding Israel, President Trump offers a stunning defense of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu amid his corruption trial. Trump says he was shocked to hear that Israel is continuing what he claims is a ridiculous witch hunt. Trump insists the trial should be canceled immediately or a pardon be given to a, quote, great hero who has done so much for Israel. He adds the U.S. is going to save Netanyahu. Netanyahu was indicted in 2019 on charges of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. An update on the lavish nuptials of billionaire Jeff Bezos and journalist Lauren Sanchez. The two were seen at a luxury hotel in Venice ahead of 3 days of festivities in the city. The widely dubbed wedding of the century costs between $46 to $56 million and will bring some 200 guests, including A-listers. Reports say the celebrations will kick off Thursday night, local time, with an open-air gathering in a medieval church. Bezos and Sanchez confirmed their relationship in 2019 and became engaged in 2023. We're taking a break. Up ahead, a look at the final trailer for Fantastic Four: First Steps. Stay with Newsfeed at noon. Philippines represent prime prospect Dylan Harper, now a San Antonio Spur, as he is picked second overall in the 2025 NBA draft. At the Barclays Center, Dylan shared the moment with his Bataan-born mom, Maria Pizarro Harper, his maternal grandparents, and his brother, Detroit Pistons guard Ron Harper Jr. His father, five-time NBA champion Ron Sr., was also there and was even emotional. The versatile 19-year-old star guard now joins Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio, wearing the number 2 jersey last worn by Kawhi Leonard.
Man, I'm feeling everything, man. All the emotions mixed in one bucket. From crying to laughing to being happy, everything, man. Just feel everything, man. I'm excited to get ready. I'm excited.
Despite his daddy's NBA titles, Dylan credits his mom for his hoops journey. Maria played Division I college ball for the University of New Orleans and later coached her sons at Don Bosco Prep. Filipino tennis star Alex Ayala proving she is for real ahead of her main draw debut at Wimbledon. The women's world number 74 stunned 20th ranked Yelena Ostapenko in the round of 16 showdown at the Eastbourne Open in the UK. After losing the first set, Ayala roared back in the second, 6-2. She was leading 3-2 in the third and final set when Ostapenko retired due to an ankle injury. Up next for Alex in the quarterfinals is 42nd ranked Diana Yastremska of Ukraine. In entertainment, more ayuda for Blinks as our OT4 is finally seen in one screen again. Trailer for Blackpink's upcoming Deadline World Tour, which kicks off in Goyang, South Korea next month. It includes a 2-day concert at the Philippine Arena on November 22nd and 23rd. This is the group's first tour since Born Pink wrapped up in September 2023. Mark your calendars for TXT's newest era. The K-pop boy group has announced their 4th full album, titled The Star Chapter Together. It will drop on July 21st. TXT also unveiled a new group logo design with each letter looking like a star. The group's last full-length album was released in 2023. TXT debuted in 2019 under Big Hit Music, the same agency behind BTS. And it's clobbering time. Marvel Studios has released the final trailer for the Fantastic Four First Step. Comes out in theaters next month. The new look finally introduces the Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner, and the planet-devouring Galactus. Here's a peek.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus.
What is that? Get us out of here, man! Hold on! Are we safe?
I don't know.
The clock is ticking. We are going to find a solution. We are going to make it right.
You don't want to just crush him like that.
The 4 of us will face the danger. We will protect you.
Family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself. We'll face it together. As a family.
What time is it, Ben?
No.
What time is Is it big?
No, Johnny.
Say it!
I don't wanna!
Say it!
And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Stay with the Billionaire News Channel. Good afternoon.